These are my predictions for the second legs of the quarterfinals in the Champions League. So I did my predictions last week for the first leg. Some weren't too far off, others weren't great. So I thought, why not do the predictions for the second legs as well? Getting straight into it, the first one is Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. Of course, Atletico won the first leg 2-0 thanks to a Cabazi red card as well. And now Barcelona have got it all to do at the Wanda Metropolitano. I mean, if you look at the form, it's literally night and day. I mean, the only win for Atletico is the only loss for Barcelona. But of course, the Sevilla one for Atletico Madrid is a bit different. Of course, the rest of most of the first team. They wanted to rest the first team to make sure they're ready for the Champions League match because it's a big game for them. And it's definitely a hard one to call. Yamal clutch once again for Barcelona. I do think this will be extremely tight. I think Barcelona could even win on the night. But I think Atletico keeps it out of score that sends them to the semi-finals. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Barcelona win, but of course it's 4-3 aggregate to Atletico Madrid. Next up is Liverpool versus PSG. Of course PSG won the first leg 2-0. And it could have been way more. Of course they had a penalty shot denied right at the very end. And overall it was just chance after chance for PSG. They should have put some more away really. Of course for Liverpool over the weekend they managed to get their first domestic win in quite a while against Fulham 2-0. Whereas for PSG, of course their last game was that Liverpool one because the League One got rearranged. But as you can tell by the form, what's exactly stopping PSG at the moment? And it's one of them PSG could easily win the competition again. I don't think they'll have a problem with Liverpool this time. I'm sure Liverpool will be happy with a 2-goal deficit. Of course it's not too bad. Whether it's enough for them to turn it around is different, but I'm sure at Anfield it gives them every chance. I think PSG could win this game. I'm going to go for 2 on PSG. And of course that means the tie finishes 4-1. On to Wednesday night now. Of course the first game is Arsenal versus Sporting. Obviously for Arsenal against Bournemouth, it was a massive defeat for them. Of course one that lets Man City back into this title race. Of course ahead of that game against Manchester City this weekend. And I'm sure they'll want to do everything they can against Sporting to try and go into a positive note going into that game Sunday. Of course for Sporting, their only defeat in the last 5 is at one against Arsenal, but their opponents aren't really comparable. And I mean for Arsenal, of course, it's massive for their season defining arguably. And if Arsenal were to lose to Sporting here and get knocked out of the Champions League, you'd have serious doubts about the Premier League. I don't think that'll be the case. I think they'll be quite sluggish against Sporting, but they get the job done. Of course, they've got a 1-0 advantage still, so that's not too bad. I don't think it'll be a high scoring affair, but I think there'll be a couple of goals. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal victory, but I think they'll just about scrape that win. And they'll go for an aggregate 3-1. And then the final quarter-final tie, the best of the bunch, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. I mean, what a game that was at the Bernabeu last week. Of course, Bayern winning 2-1, taking the lead back to the Allianz. A lot of people, including myself, are backing Bayern to win the whole thing. I just think they've got too much quality. And I mean, if they went through in this game, that game against PSG could be mouth-watering. Real Madrid have stuttered a bit in La Liga recently, whereas Bayern Munich are absolutely unstoppable. I think they broke the record for most Bundesliga goals in a season. And I'll be honest, I can't see anything other than a Bayern Munich win in this game and in the tie. I think it'll be another tight game. I think Bayern Munich will come through with their quality, and it'll be another disappointment in the Champions League for Real Madrid. I think Bayern Munich will do exactly what they did to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. So I'm going for another 2-1 win and a 4-2 win on aggregate. And there we go, guys. If you enjoy this sort of content, leave this video a like, drop me a follow, and let me know your score predictions in the comments.